Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Ed Morse Mazda in Port Richey, Florida. And boy, oh boy, do I have a sharp looking mid-size SUV. This is a updated, refresh, and on top of it, all new special edition. This is a 2021 Mazda CX-9 Carbon Edition featured in that beautiful poly-metal gray metallic color. But before we dive into this Carbon Edition, let's talk about what's going on here. So the CX-9 is Mazda's mid-size three-row SUV. Mid-size SUV segment of the market has really heated up, especially with new entries from Kia with the Telluride and Hyundai with the Palisade. What Mazda wanted to do for 2021 is not only do some refreshing, but also bring this Carbon Edition, which really sets it apart from the rest of the mid-size SUV pack. Mazda's doing something also on top of it that a lot of the other brands are not doing. And what they're doing is they're actually creating a premium brand within their own brand. Now, if you went Toyota, if you wanted premium, you would have to go up to Lexus. If you went Nissan and you wanted premium, you would have to go up to Infiniti. Well, guess what? With Mazda, you just come down to Ed Morse Mazda and you're walking out with a premium experience, especially when you get to the interior. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this Carbon Edition and find out, is it the best midsize you should be buying, especially over the Palisade and the Telluride. Right off the bat, I love the styling on Mazdas. They have such a great brand identity, and they also are not big and boxy, but they're not bulbous either, like a round ball. Let me show you what's going on here. So up at the front of the business, you can see that we're gonna have, of course, those LED headlights. I really love how small they make the headlight housing, your LED daytime running lamp, and if you notice, the chrome trim actually goes into the actual headlight housing. Really nice flow. You kind of drop down, you're gonna have some chrome accent that's gonna go all the way across the bottom. LED fog lamps, but the zonk is this fake vent here. I wish that they would make this a side air curtain. I think that would help with aerodynamic efficiency and also give it just a little bit even better look. But boy, oh boy, this poly metal color, spot on the money. When we come around the front, now for 2021, all new CX-9s get upgraded grills. When you go with the Carbon Edition, you're gonna get this gloss blacked out design. I liked all the little notches that they added. Of course, you're gonna get that beautiful chrome trim that follows the shape of the Mazda logo, which is really neat. That's where they got that actual flow to it. But really nice work on the grill being part of this special edition. You drop down, you're gonna have a nice, almost like a front splitter that extends just a tad. That chrome trim follows all the way, but you can see how even for a midsize, the hood really slopes down nicely into the front fascia. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you can see the body lines pick up right here, go all the way and just flow nicely into the A-pillars. We come around the bend, let's see what we're working with Carbon Edition. So Carbon Edition, you're gonna get this multi-spoke wheel, gloss black, working well with the poly metal metallic. It's a 20-inch wheel. And what's great about it is that it has the same wonderful clean style. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's the tire size, Joe? 255 on the width, meaty 50 series sidewall. Our particular CX-9 Carbon Edition is front wheel drive, but you can also get all wheel drive. Flat black, just a little bit. It's not as high as like on the Mazda CX-30, which is their smaller crossover SUV, which I like, that they didn't bring it up so high, but really clean look from the side. When we go down the side of the vehicle, you're gonna get gloss black on the mirror caps. That's part of the Carbon Edition. You do get chrome trim, and I'm gonna zonk it. I wish they would have blacked out the trim, tying it in with the Carbon Edition. Same thing, I do like bright silver, low roof rails, but it would be nice if they were blacked out to kind of really go with that Carbon Edition motif. Down below, you're gonna get some flat black, and yet again, a little bit more chrome, which doesn't make sense to me. Gloss black would have been the better solution, but you do have color match color match door handles. You have the black mirror caps, we already talked about that. A little bit of gloss black. I really do like the nice roof line that they have on the CX-9s. They've had this for a while and it really does give it a sharp look. Interesting style to the rear glass, but you know what? It gives it that personality from the side. And as we wrap around back, you're gonna get a low roof spoiler, of course, color matched shark fin antenna up top, some more chrome trim, which, like I said, there's chrome at the front, but I think they could have went just a little bit more with the black trim to kind of tie it in all together. You got your CX-9 badge, your Sky Active badge. some of the best taillights on any SUV. Mazda does taillights that they look like they're right off a supercar. As we drop down, you do have a little bit more chrome, a little bit flat black, which is good. And then what I really like is how they have one exhaust on each side, nice, simple, round tip, really just gives it a balanced look. But why don't we pop the hood and see what's powering this Carbon Edition CX-9. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. I am gonna zonk the prop rod, not only because it's here, it should have hydraulic hood struts, but the placement of it is almost right smack dab in the middle of the engine compartment. Now, underneath that hood, tasteful engine cover, you do have two cup holders, which is nice. So if you're working on your CX-9 or if you're detailing underneath the hood, you have two cup holders. Very rare to see that on an engine cover. And if you believe me, I also will sell you the Brooklyn Bridge as well if you believe that those are cup holders. But if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's underneath that engine cover? Now, a lot of people would say you can't have a 4-cylinder in a mid-size 3-row SUV, but guess what? Mazda says you could do it, and they do it well. So it's a turbocharged 2.5-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. You're looking at on premium fuel, 250 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. The reason why I bring up the premium fuel part is that if you don't use premium, it knocks the horsepower down to 227 horsepower. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission with manual shift mode. And the great news is that if you're looking for, well, how much does this weigh? You're looking around 4,260 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds, quarter mile in 15.5. And a top speed, which is governor limited to 132 miles per hour. MPGs, you're looking around 22 in the city and 28 on the highway. And you could tow around 3,500 pounds with the all-wheel drive version of the CX-9. But you know, it's nice to have choices. One thing that Mazda is definitely known for is that whole driving experience. But before we get that drive in, let's get to the interior and see what's new for 2021 and what's unique to the Carbon Edition. All right, guys, we're in the Mazda CX-9, that 3-row midsize SUV. I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, I'm glad you did this video. It's almost like you read my mind. I'm looking at midsize SUVs. I've been looking at the Palisade, the Honda Pilot, the Chevy Traverse. How much is this CX-9 Carbon Edition? Because I'm really liking the way it looks. MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is $42,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, they do a great job, like I said, bringing that premium feel to the Mazda brand. All soft touch material. I love the leather on the armrest, that red, deep red contrast stitching, all part of that Carbon Edition. A little bit of gloss black around the switchgear for your door locks and windows. But you know what? As you work your way down, you're going to get a tasteful Bose silver trim speaker cover to go with the Bose sound system. Door pocket, you could probably get, I would say, one cold cut combo 6-inch sub from Subway and a bottle of Mountain Dew to wash it down. But other than that, I love all the design elements, especially the door handle, the leather, the stitch work is just very exquisite. Now, when you get to the dash, I like the way it's far forward, soft touch. You're getting this nice dark gray trim, even around the AC vents. And then guess what? Welcome to 2021. We have an all-new infotainment system. So it's a 10.25-inch horizontal screen. Is it a touch screen? No. You can touch it, but it doesn't do anything. You have to use the Mazda direct drive control knob. But the great news is they reworked all of the icons. Very easy to get to. Of course, you're going to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is really wonderful. But you just select what you want, and then you push down. Look at that. We're listening to one of my favorite channels, 80s on 8. I'll put it in reverse because guess what? We have all new backup cameras. So clear view, nice, crisp. You do have the trajectory lines, but it does not turn with the steering wheel. So that is going to be a zonk. But I do like the way you have the backup sensors and the sensors up front so that you could protect that beautiful polymetal gray metallic finish. Now, I'll put it back in the park, and there we are. You got a convenient start-stop button, like the silver trim. You work your way down, you got heated seats. Guess what? Heated steering wheel. You have heated seats, but you also have ventilated seats. So that's a nice touch, especially up front. Dual climate control, love the silver finish. Nice touch when you turn each of the AC controls. You're gonna have wireless charging and a cubby in here where you could easily, if you weren't charging a phone, you could probably get about 6 or 7, mix it up. Paydays, maybe some Heath bars, some Snicker bars, easy, just regular size. Don't go king size because you're gonna crush your nuts if you do. I do like the shifter with the nice material, the silver. This is gonna control that 6-speed automatic transmission. Just a tad of gloss black, nothing too crazy. Some silver trim. You do have that sport button that if you put it into sport, that's gonna adjust how the transmission behaves with the engine. Here's that Mazda direct drive control knob I was telling you about. It's real easy to navigate through the whole new infotainment system. You got your volume control, a little bit of flat matte black, not a big deal, but on the side, remember I was telling you premium? Look at this, nice soft touch. You have nice little area for a 12 volt that you could plug in, especially if you're gonna run a radar detector, but this is all beautiful soft touch. 2 cup holders. Here is your key fob, standard Mazda key fob, like the touches. It's really light, it's about the size of a Zippo lighter, so I do like the overall look and feel of that. And then the armrest up here, super soft material, more of that stitching, and then guess what? Open up 1 door, open up 2 doors, you have 2 USB, and then this is where you could probably put 1, 2, 3, probably about 9 Twinkies. That's as much storage as you could fit in there. And then the seats, absolutely love them. Leather, the dark red with the red contrast stitching. What I love about them even more is that they're ventilated and heated and full electric assist for the passenger and the driver. And then you do have a standard size sunroof, which is an extra nice touch. But why don't you come over to the business end? Because guess what? There are a couple changes for 2021 on the CX-9. All right, guys, business time on the driver's side. You do have your seat controls, easy to get to. I like the nice silver chrome finish. You do have 2 memory seat settings, which is great. And you can see the amount of room that I have in here. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom. You are going to have, of course, the safety features, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, all that goes without being said. But boy, oh boy, look at the steering wheel that we have. Nice dark red on that crisscross pattern. It reminds me of a baseball that Cal Ripken Jr. signed for me when I was a kid. But you do have a little bit of brushed aluminum. I wish they would notch out this hole. So that is a zonk. I don't know why they have this solid piece of black plastic, but nice thin on the spokes. The new news for 2021 is you get pedals on the back of the steering wheel. They are small and they are plastic, but that'll allow you to shift manually with the paddles through the 6-speed automatic transmission. You do have a tilting and telescoping steering wheel, so that's a nice touch. And then the dash, straightforward, clear, easy to understand. So you have an analog tach, analog coolant, analog fuel, and then believe it or not, that display in the center where it's showing that we need to refuel the tank, that is an actual digital speedometer. You have your MPGs to the left, and then you also have range to the right, which is a very nice touch. So I like that whole balance that they have with the information. Easy to read, easy to understand. I'm feeling good up here. They do a great job on the seats. Let's get to that mid-row and see how your passengers are gonna like this CX-9 Carbon Edition. All right, guys, mid-row time, and this is where your passengers are gonna have the same great seats as those that are up front. The only zonk is gonna be these very skinny captain's chair armrests. They are ratcheting. I wish they were just a little wider for a man-size grown adult arm. The great news though is you get that beautiful red leather interior all the way around. You get 2 seat pockets, which is great, and guess what? They're both very generous. So you could actually put some bananas up here, you could put your Twinkies down here, and then just make sure you don't squish them or you're gonna get a big banana split cream mess back here. Now, you do have rear AC vents, which are great, and you have the controls that are easy to use. Heated seats, no ventilated seats, 2 cup holders, and then you're also getting 2 USBs down there, which is another nice touch. I like the way this is all open. And then what's really great is that you have, a sliding mid-row, and of course, I love the recline. They actually recline further than a lot of the competition in this mid-size segment. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that one part. We do have AC up here. I'm curious what's going on in the 3rd row. So let's go check that out. All right, guys, 3rd row time. This is where, when you're comparing it to the competition, the CX-9 falls a little short. What's nice though is that they have a handle right up top. You pull and you push. That gives you some decent real estate to climb on in. Getting in is fine. The good news is that you're gonna get the same soft red leather interior back here, and you are getting 2 USBs. My zonk, no rear AC. No rear AC, and my legs, if you notice where my knees are, they're up a little high. I've actually been in worse, but I would like my knees just a little bit lower and some rear AC like ASAP, because even though it's fall in Florida right now, we don't really have a fall, it's just summer extended. But why don't we go ahead, let's put this third row down and see how much space we have in the CX-9. All right guys, time to get into the cargo area. We push the button, get a little chime, semi-slow to semi-fast on the opening. You do have a nice low loading floor, which is great. I'll get this out of the way. That's to put a front mounted plate, which we don't need those in Florida. But what are we looking at with that third row up? So you're basically looking at cargo space is around 14 cubic feet with that third row up. Now, if you want to put it down, what I love about the CX-9, it's very, very easy. You're just gonna pull and then push. Pull and then push. Now you're looking at about 37 cubic feet of space. Nice flat floor. You can see where those cup holders were located for the third row. I could open this up. You got some great storage. So think about this. Think about ho-hos, ding-dongs, zingers, little Debbie snacks, even maybe some Hostess fruit pies. Just fill this whole back area up for the long trip. And then of course that mid-row will go down and you're basically looking around 72 cubic feet of space. But why don't we go ahead? Mazda puts a lot of work into the whole driving experience. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's find out how the CX-9 Carbon Edition drives. All right, guys, we're in the 2021 Mazda CX-9. This one, the Carbon Edition. Right away, I absolutely love the red interior. Like I said, that polymetal gray metallic with the red interior really sets it apart from the rest of the crowd. The new updated infotainment system is easy to get to, easy to see, easy to understand. Then you just use the direct drive control knob, which is nice. You hit home, that brings you right back to home, and then you have your list of icons. So it's actually a very easy system to use, which is great. Now for 2021, you do have the paddles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the shifter, push it over to the left. That's gonna put it in manual shift mode. I'm gonna put it in sport, and then I'm gonna drop it down, second gear, first gear, on throttle. And what's wonderful is that 6-speed shifts very smooth, whether you're shifting manually or if you're just letting the automatic do its business, it actually shifts very smooth and really just goes to show that you don't need a 20-speed automatic transmission. 6-speed still gets the job done very nicely. I love the balance feel of the chassis, especially when you're going around turns. That's where you're really gonna see the difference between a CX-9 and one of its competitors. But having the ventilated seats, having the heated seats, I just feel bad for whoever's sitting in that third row. But let's go ahead, on throttle. Remember, this is front wheel drive, a little bit of traction loss. If you're wondering, is a 4-cylinder enough? Yes, with the turbocharged power, with using premium fuel, you have plenty of oomph to move this 4,200 pound SUV. If you go with all-wheel drive, then you're getting a little bit closer to around 4,500 pounds for the all-wheel drive CX-9. But visibility super clear, great brake feel, steering has a nice thickness, and what's wonderful is that when you put it in sport mode, it's just how the transmission, the engine behaves. Everything else is going to be consistent with the CX-9, which I really like. Visibility out the back is super clear. And you know, we have a multi-link rear suspension out back, so it really works over bumps and uneven pavement super well. Guys, once again, on throttle, even in automatic mode. So you're getting very smooth shifts, like I said. Looking at the instrumentation, it's easy to read, easy to understand, even at a glance. I know a lot of the competition is moving on to full digital displays. It is really nice to just have the analog combined with that digital speedometer. Everything else is very easy to read and very easy to understand. Going around this bend right here, nice and planted, and that's where the Mazda products really show their true value, is in the handling and what you're getting feedback-wise to the steering wheel, which is great. All right, guys, one last time, let me show you the handling on throttle. Really nice, very controllable, very predictable, and it doesn't feel like a really large SUV, which I love. I love that she's light on her feet, and she really speaks very well through the steering wheel so that you feel good, you feel confident. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what this CX-9 is all about, especially the Carbon Edition, the changes to the infotainment system for 2021. We're gonna get back to Ed Morse Mazda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Ed Morse Mazda. I definitely gotta thank Bill and Quentin for getting us access not only to just the 2021 CX-9, but this all new special Carbon Edition. It really shows that, guess what? If you want a mid-size 3-row SUV and you want to have a good driving experience, good looks, and an interior that has that really, really nice premium look and feel, the CX-9 checks off so many boxes. You definitely want to add it to your list while you're looking for a mid-size 3-row SUV. But if you want to keep seeing SUVs on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to get it out to Crown Vic, out here in the sun, wearing his hat, doing his thing, working like a champ. Thank you, Victor, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.